Make a Path presents Let's Talk.
Alright guys, we're here to recap the Feeding Post Part 2. Now this is my original work and we're looking at a published date for the end of this year, 2015, and it is a book series. Now if we build enough interest, and that's what we're doing here, we're building interest. If we build enough interest, there is a possibility of making it into a graphic novel. And to be honest with you, I absolutely love that idea. I was very hesitant at first because I'm not in control of the art. To be honest, if I could draw and draw very well, I would have no reserve about jumping right into a graphic novel. As a matter of fact, that would be the ideal approach I would take for this story. However, since I can't control the art and I'm a control freak and there's other issues that you have to work out with that is an option. So we'll go over that when the time comes, but for now let's get right into the next preview for the Feeding Post Part 2. Now to recap, there's two characters we know about: the rider, the prisoner. The rider has taken the prisoner out to a feeding post, tied him up, and he is waiting for zombies to come and eat him alive. He's standing up by his horse and a broken down building, and he's watching, waiting for him to get eaten, so this is all over and done with. He sees something out of the corner of his eye in the woods. He goes to look. The winds shift and he smells death coming from behind him, and then we end it there. So we're gonna pick right back up from that. Instinctively he knows he's smelling corpses behind him, walking corpses. So he spins around, he whips out his sword, and there's nothing there but that building. So he's waiting a moment, and he notices on the door there is a piece of rope tied to the door handle, and it's kind of tucked in, hidden, and it goes to the ground where it's hidden with the weeds and dirt. And he stands there a moment, his stomach starts to knot up, and he goes to take a step, and before his foot even touches on the grass, that rope tightens up. Grass shoots in the air, dirt explodes in the air, and the rope was obviously hidden. It comes up to a level that's about doorknob height, and we could see that it's being pulled around the back of the building. The door yanks open and slams against the wall, and the rider flinches as if he's trying to duck a phantom punch. And he's looking at this door open, rope is there, he has no clue what's going on, because even he didn't even know when he woke up that day he would be in that area. And if it wasn't a scary moment, it would be almost comical, because now nothing is happening again. So he starts to lean to the left to see if he can peek around the building and see anything at all. And then a pale face starts making its way out of the dark from inside the room. And now he knows this is a trap. But his biggest concern is who is setting it. Again, he didn't even know he was going to be here. So one by one, the creepers, these are the zombies, start piling their way out of this building. The rider gets ready, but he has no time to react because an arrow darts at his face. He lifts his hand, it goes through his arm, jams in his cheekbone. He drops his sword. Instinctively, he pulls his arm away from his face, plucking the arrow tip out of his cheekbone. And at this moment, rage and adrenaline make a cocktail in his veins, and the knot in his stomach starts to disappear. He grabs his sword with his right arm, he cuts the rope off his horse and yells for him to get away, which in his mind, quickly he realized if arrows are coming, if there's more, stopping to get on the horse would just mean an easy target. And he was right, because the moment the horse runs away, arrows land into the ground, right where the horse was just standing. He has nothing left to do, so he switches arms with the sword, and he runs straight into the pile of zombies. Using his sword to make a shield, per se, with the zombies, a couple arrows tear through the zombies, one gets hit in the head. He sees shadows now coming from the side of the building. The trap is set and the ambush is happening. He pulls out his pistol, he elbows a couple creeps, he aims, and just as the person is about to reveal themselves from around the corner of that building, a creeper bites him right in the thigh. With so much pressure, he grunts. Another one bites him in the back of the shoulder. He aims still because the person is just coming. It's happening within seconds, and another creep bites him right in the arm, tight enough to where he loosens his grip on the gun. Just then, two men appear from around the side of the building. Immediately, he has to tighten the grip on his arm, squeeze the trigger, fires 4 shots, 1 misses, 3 hit the mark, sending the two men that's attacking to the ground. More creepers hop on those as a free meal, start ripping the men apart into shreds. He drops his sword, gives the creeps a real good push, pulls out an ice pick, jams it in the eye, jams another one, shakes him off, punches, wails, and he thinks immediately he needs to flank them and do something they wouldn't expect. And he goes to run around the building. Little does he know they expected that, and he took a shotgun blast to the chest, lifting him off the feet. The shotgunner puts his foot on his chest and gun butts the shit out of him. It knocks him out cold. No sound, no sight, no nothing. The sound is the first thing that starts coming back. His vision's blurry. He's looking off to the side where the arrow men were shooting at. And it looks like they're either humping each other in victory or fighting. He can't tell which. His vision is blurry. He's unsure. The sound is waving in and out. He has no idea what's going on. He hears the sound of skulls being cracked, creeps being killed, and he's trying to move his head the best he can. He's trying to move his body the best he can. A shotgun lands in front of him, the one that shot him and the one that gun butted him, and it breaks his daze. He sees a creep with no legs, arms waving, teeth chomping, trying to eat him. But he doesn't have any legs, and it seems as if he's tied to something. So he gets to his feet. His vision's blurry. He doesn't feel so hot. He's trying to regain his composure, and he comes face to face to another creeper. He pulls his ice pick back out, jams it in his eye. Instead of the creeper falling to the ground, he stays standing. The rider stumbles backwards. Something is wrong with him. He spins and falls to his knees. He feels content. He's fuzzy in the head, and he realizes that he's been poisoned. This terrifying thought hits him just as he's watching three creepers staring at him, arms reaching out for him to rip his body into pieces, teeth chomping away, hoping to get a bite right out of him, but they're not coming for him. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know if he's hallucinating. He doesn't know what kind of poison he's been hit with. All he knows is he feels it inside him that he is in a lot of trouble. Something is very wrong. He looks over at the creep that was on the ground with no legs, and he notices it's tied to a piece of wood, it looks like. And the idea hits him that this creeper isn't just tied here, it's a fucking shield. His mind tells his body to stand up, but it's not listening. A cloth covers his nose and mouth area. He wants to struggle, but his body's just not listening. He starts fading out, his eyes close, everything's going dark, the sound is distant, even the pain in his body feels like it's miles away, and the last thought he has is he wishes he was dead, because the amount of torture he's going to wake up feeling is unimaginable. The horrors that await him, he is not ready for. And that's going to bring our next preview to a close. Now, feel free to share all your opinions down below. Now, guys, I am trying to have fun with these, so I do them from the hip. I'm basically just pitching it to you. If you do want to read it word for word, and this is another reason why I don't just read it word for word, you can go to the Dead Living Facebook page, and you can actually read this preview on the Dead Living Facebook page. Maybe you'll get more from that instead of me just reading that out loud to you. Again, I don't spam out. I only do about a preview every 30 days or so. So check that out. And guys, if we do build enough interest, if you know anyone who's into zombie material, right now they're called creepers for the rough draft. Creepers are creeps. If you know anyone that's interested in zombie material, let them know. It's actually really important that if you guys like this story and want to support this story, to just keep the interest alive, because that is what's making the publisher more excited, and that is what's going to open the door to getting a graphic novel made if we can. And I would absolutely love that. Like I said, a graphic novel would be my ideal choice for this story. I am looking at options. Don't get me wrong. I know you could just do a story and then get an artist. Don't get me wrong. But I am looking into that. Let me just say. A lot of work goes into that too. It's not as easy as... Yeah, a lot of work goes into that. That shit is not as easy as just saying, hey, you know what? We're going to come out with a book, you know. I respect the amount of work that goes into that. Let's just put it that way. Alright guys, this has been the second preview. I'm going to stop rambling on and on. Leave your opinions in the comments down below. I'm done talking. It's your turn.
Subscribe. subscribe now.